Hey YouTube, it's time for another installment of Strange Questions. The first question is from Warrant, who always sends me questions, so thank you, Warrant. And it is, what practical application can you think of for touchable holography? Basically, that's holograms that you can manipulate with your hands. I will put a link in the crossbar to the video that he sent me that explains how it works, so check that out, it's really interesting. The first thing that came to mind when I thought about this was in the Iron Man movies, where Tony Stark has the computer put the holograms in front of him and he can manipulate them to like change a diagram. Like when he, in the second one I believe, when he's looking at the map of the place, he says, okay, now I'm going to remove all of the landscaping, and then disappears so he can't see what's underneath it, stuff like that. And I think, Tony Stark finds it useful, so that'd be fantastic. I would use it, but again, we're years and years and years away from that, but there's a practical application. Second question is from a new user who's never sent me a question before, and it's avastacia or avastacia, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so let me know, write me a comment. And that is, what is your opinion on premarital sex? My opinion is that it's your opinion. It's different for each person. You need to decide if your religious beliefs or your moral code, is it okay for you? Do you feel comfortable doing it? If not, then don't do it. If you want to wait until you're married, fantastic. That's awesome for you. I personally, I have had premarital sex. I do have some stipulations. I've made mistakes with premarital sex, but here's my view on it. If you decide that it is okay for you as a person, you feel fine with it, don't do it unless you love the person. Because it's not just about physical pleasure. I mean, that's part of it. But you're missing out on so much more if you are just having one-night stands, or even if you're in a relationship and you're sleeping with that person, but you don't love them yet. I mean, you're missing out on some amazing connection. And I personally think that that's a really, really important part of it, if not the most important part. And you're really, you're depriving yourself of something really special if you just sleep with someone that you don't love. And like I said, it's a personal choice. If you decide that, yes, I'm okay with it, super, and you find someone you love. Wait for someone you love. The third one is from a user that I subscribe to. It was one of their comment questions of the day. I had plenty of questions to answer without using this question, but I really wanted to answer it. So, it is from Disney Kid 1, who's one of the 5 awesome gays. His name is Joseph Birdsong. And it is, do you believe in ghosts? Yes and no. I love TV shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and stuff like that. I find that stuff really interesting. I do believe in paranormal activity. I believe that there are spirits or entities, whatever you want to call them, that do haunt places or people. I believe that there are things that can manipulate objects or, like move things around or, speak to you. Yes, I believe those things happen. I won't necessarily believe your story like, ooh, I felt something touch me, unless, I experienced something there too. If I can physically see something happen, if I can feel something, if I can hear something, yes, super, believe you. The no part, I am not convinced that these things that do these things are dead people that are still here, like spirits left over. I'm not convinced. I'm not ruling it out, but that's not really something that I am. Yes, that's what it is. It's dead people. Like if there's like a brutal murder and that person's spirit stays there, and not necessarily. I actually have had a personal experience at Northwest Missouri State, which is where I went to college. In the theater, up on the balcony level, there was a small props closet. It was just like a storage room where we kept all the little things like books or telephones, stuff like that we would use for shows. And the door was always locked. And, there was a key that would open it sometimes. But it was always locked. And even if you didn't have the key, going up there, because I would go up there and would never ask for the key. And I would check it. Yep, it's locked. I would throw all my weight into it. Yep, it's not going to open. You know, so it's not like a trick door that if you put enough weight on it, it'll come unlatched. And it won't open. And I've shown this to other people who have never been in the theater before, and they've experienced the same thing. And then all you have to do is knock. You knock and you say, "Can I come in?" And you back away. And the door will swing open by itself. Yeah. And it's not, there's no windows in there, so it's not like the draft is opening the door. You know, it's specifically something responding to you. And one time, because I work security, so in the middle of the night, I took some of the my other patrol mates up there, and I flipped the hallway light on, and we were doing that. And then there was one guy that's like, "I don't believe this. You're pulling something." And the other guy totally believed me, because he was the one like trying to open the door and seeing it open without touching it. And the other guy was very doubtful, and he wouldn't even come very close to the door. And then the light started turning on and off, and he like booked it out of there. So something's there. Don't know if it's a dead person, but that's where it is. Okay, now I have 4 questions from House 11155. House likes to send multiple questions at once, which is fine, but it makes for an extra long video. First one is, if you could change something about yourself, what would it be and why? I don't know if you're asking about like physical change, or like a feature, or like personality wise. Physical change, I would have magical hair removal, so I wouldn't ever have to shave again, because that laser hair removal is really expensive. Personality change would probably, I'm a very needy person. Even though I'm a confident, independent person, for whatever reason, I can't stop myself from wanting approval and wanting love and affection, and I really can't survive without it, and it's kind of pitiful. So I'd like to, just not need that anymore. Still appreciate it, but not need it to be happy. Number 2, if someone wrote a biography about you, what do you think the title would be? That's a rough one. I should have thought about this before I turned the camera on. Maybe wannabe would be good, because I want to be in theater, and I want to be Belle, and I want to be all these things, and my life is working towards what I want to be. 3, what is your greatest weakness? Again, personality wise, I'm needy. And I'd say that's probably my biggest weakness. Because if I didn't need the approval and affection of others, then I would be, just free to be myself. And I'd still be aware of it and still be conscious and not like, I don't give a shit what you think, and just be a total bitch. But to not need it, yeah, that'd be good. And the last one, 4, do you feel naked with no makeup on? Absolutely not. I'm not wearing makeup now, and I'm not planning on putting any makeup on today. I go to work substituting with no makeup on. The only time I really make an effort to put makeup on is when I'm going to an audition for something, or when I'm going out on a date, or stuff like that. And obviously when I'm on stage, because that's important. But yeah, don't feel naked without makeup. And aren't I pretty? I don't need it, do I? Yeah, see, that was me wanting affection and attention and approval. Thanks, YouTube. And thank you for sending your questions. Keep them coming. Tell your friends so I can get new users. Ask me any questions. And I will catch you later. Peace.